Sounds pretty epic.
Hello, and welcome to the Warrior Arts Renaissance Show, where you give us hard questions and we give you solid answers. I'm your host, Dr. Philip Payne. My co hosts at large are Shaoshi Raymond Pridgeon, Master Josh Slater, Master Don Holmes, Master Eric Allfield, and Master Tom Meredith. The Warrior Arts Renaissance Show is a production of Payne Unlimited LLC, and any proceeds will go to support the Ezra Foundation in its ongoing effort to end human trafficking worldwide. With that said, grab you a drink and pull up a chair to the table of the masters. Lend us your ear. Well, first off, I would caution you against taking responsibility for what someone else did. You said, how do you respectfully give back what white people took from the Asian culture? You took nothing by force. You took with gratitude what was given to me and what I passed on to you. Um, and as you said, it was given to me willingly because he knew that I would respect and appreciate it. He went above and beyond what he was teaching, the group in general, um, and taught me and two others a lot, and then sent us on to one of his other students to learn more when he was called away. Um, it is not the horrible things that were done in the Philippines were not done by you. Okay. So let go of the guilt that I hear in your question. Um, how would you give this to anyone else? If he were white or black or Arab or, any other, if he was Native American, would you be asking this question of how do you respectfully give it? Or would you simply be giving it in the best way you knew how? I think he would love the fact that someone displaced from his home culture, as he was displaced from his home culture for other reasons. Um, he was just for those who don't know the history of the system. He was recruited by the U.S. military um, during the during the war in Korea to spy, um, and after that was over, he realized he could not go home to the Philippines. He would not be accepted because of what he had done. And so he made a career in the United States Army. Um, he was a command sergeant major, retired by the time I met him, um, and was gracious enough to be willing to teach me his family system. The I think that if he knew that this young man that you're teaching, this Royo, was displaced from his culture and wanted to know more about his heritage, and that you were teaching him the way I taught you, I think he would know that I taught you as close as to the way that he would have taught it and be legal because you were a minor when I taught you. Um, and I think he would love it. And I know you've heard all of my stories about how tough Sergeant Major was and how he was. I'm sure in your mind, because I've probably built him up to being 10 foot tall and bulletproof and never took anything off of anybody. But he loved his family. He was very much a family man. He was very much a jokester. When the moment in the right moment he would crack some of the funniest one line jokes you ever heard. And I think knowing that he had a sense of irony, I think he would look at this and chuckle and because to see that it's come full circle 360 degrees, that he taught a white guy who taught a white guy who is now teaching a Filipino, um, But I think he would also say, don't let it stop there. If this young man wants to know his heritage, put him in contact with Lucci. Okay, help him see the Filipino culture. What you know of the Filipino culture is mostly the combative systems, but the culture, it's a beautiful culture in general. If help him make this the jumping off point, teach him everything you can about Kali, and then help him embrace his culture in general. Because the martial arts were, yes, we talk about the culture of the martial arts, but really it's a subculture. It's the warrior path is the subculture of whatever culture it's embedded in. It's just like music is a part of the culture that creates it. Painting is a part of the culture that creates it. Martial arts is the same way. It's a part. Every system is a part of the culture that influenced its creation. Um, and the Filipino culture is so rich, so vast. Put him in touch with your Aunt Lucci. Put him in touch with Master Slater, who has been to the Philippines um, multiple times, and who has lived elsewhere in Asia too. Um, so I would teach him everything you can about Kali, but don't stop there, because if you're going to honor Sergeant Major um, in sharing his culture with this young man, I think he would want you to share as much of the culture as you can. And I think that's why he would invite me to his home, myself and a couple others, why we would eat their traditional foods, and why we would sit around in his home, and he would tell stories not just about his family Kali system, but about his family in general, and about the when he was growing up over there. And I think that would honor him. I think that would if he were alive and knew this, I think that would bless his heart. All right. Well, Jacob, I want to thank you for your time. Um, you've joined us now for several episodes of the podcast. I'd welcome you back at any time. Hopefully, next time you come on, some of the other masters will be able to join us. You're welcome to bring more questions in the future, or simply to bring insights as you make your own warrior walk.
Thank you, and I'm glad to come on again at some.
I'm afraid that's all the time we have for this podcast, folks. Be sure to tune in next time, where we will resume this conversation right where we left off. Until then, keep kicking, and remember to support our sponsor, the Ezra Foundation, in its ongoing effort to end human trafficking worldwide.
Sounds pretty epic.